Assalamu alaikum and good morning, students. Welcome and thanks for joining live class on Communicative English. Hope you are fine today, this morning. I'm happy to see many of you are here at this moment. Thank you so much for joining. All right, dear students, do you listen to me? I think it's okay. Dear students, in the last class, the day before yesterday, I tried to give you some informations about CV, resume, and biodata. I think you have got the idea about how to make an effective CV or resume or the biodata. Now, I would like to introduce some sample CV of different countries as well as sample CV of our country, right? Where you may feel inspired to make your own CV. Remember that this is the high time to learn how to make a CV. So far, I know you will have no more chance to attend any class for making CV furthermore. Okay, therefore, I may say that you are lucky enough that you have got that very chance to know about CB uh, today. So that you might prepare yourself to join the world of work, which is our ultimate goal after finishing the academic course. Okay, dear students, I believe you have started thinking about future career from now on and do as well, right? In today's lesson, we will try to apprehend what an effective CB is and how it can be developed in terms of our perspective, right? So take a page and a pen to develop your demo CB and send it to me to my email address that is given at the last slide. Okay. Now let's see what happens to the lesson 14, lecture 18. Okay, dear students, I hope that you are watching the first slide, and that is about communicative English for all technology, subject code 65722, and ultimately the objectives of today's, no, okay, not today's, but objective of communicative English uh, are that is you will be able to develop creating writing ability, transforming information, ideas, and knowledge, and consequently, your communicative competence will be developed, and you will be able to uh, mm, expose yourself while you go for communicate with your uh, workplace situations. Okay. So let's see what happens to the lesson today. Today it is lesson 14, lecture 18. In today's lesson, we will focus on topic title, that is making an effective CV. This is very important today, and practically we will try to prepare our CV. Okay, so get ready. And then ultimately, each and every lesson, we learn some new vocabulary related to that very topic. And today, mm, we will learn vocabularies that is related to CV, resume, or biodata. Okay. And in my last class, I advise you to start preparing a CV or resume of your own. I don't know uh, what you have done, but today I will do we will do a demo CV of our own. And ultimately, practice speaking in a group is our regular task, and where you will talk about your friends about the advantages and disadvantages of learning a language online. How do you feel about learning a language? If you find any advantages, you can uh, talk with your friends. If you find disadvantages, okay, all right. Also, you can share with your friends, and it will help you to become competent in speaking. Right? Dear viewers, don't forget to use headphones while going to listen to me. In today's lesson, we will learn some new vocabulary, CB templates, as I mentioned in my uh, earlier lecture, you see. And then we will also learn the difference between CV and the resume. Already we learned. And ultimately, that is very important that today we will prepare a model answer. I mean, writing CV, preparing CV step by step together, right? Okay, know how to prepare a CV. I talked about the templates, CV templates in my last lectures. So I want to repeat a little bit today. That is, first you have to know how to write contact information, then academic history, then professional experience, then qualifications and skills, awards and honors, publications. Basically, these are two uh, templates. You see, awards and honors, and publications. In these stages, you just get learn that these are the templates. It may necessary for future. Okay, so right now it is not so necessary for you. And then professional associations, grants and fellowships, licenses and certificates, volunteer works. Okay, in some cases, we need to include these templates, but right now it is not much more essential. And the last two options are optional. You may include this template or you may not, but it depends on the requirements your employers ask to include. Okay, so let's see what happens to the sample CB that is done by British people, and you see what are the essential templates, what are the essential information he added in his CV. This is very simple and it is done by one page. Okay, first, um, name is mentioned here, you see, Ben Brown. Address is mentioned in Brooklyn, Slacks, Dale. This is the name of the area where uh, the person staying, and the telephone number, mobile number is given, email address is given there also, nationality British, date of birth 10 April. Oh, okay, dear students, here are some controversy. Here are some controversies. Sometimes and some in some cases these are the personal details. This point may include as personal details. Sometimes don't like to give personal details, especially the date of birth. So as I mentioned, as I said, that it depends on what your employers demand. Okay. And then profile, highly motivated, well traveled, and creative graduate with the practical accounts experience. Okay. And then educational information, you see 2000. This is very important. This is very urgent. This is a must that you have to include academic information, and you have to mention the time when you have or while you have achieved this degree, right? So here you see 2006 to 2009. Okay, all right. Work university BCom. Grade is 8.7 maybe, and then 1999 to 2006 Denver School. That this is given here. Sorry, not address, but the levels of graduation is given here. Art A, Accounts Management A. That means this is also maybe the grade, and mathematics A. Then This is the what I say in our country, CGPS. Okay. So these are the academic information shortly given here, and then employment history. You see, 2010 and at present, PMS Corporate Limited, skills, computer literate, familiar with Excel, clean driving license. This is also in some cases of some special countries they require this. Okay, but in our country, I think this is not mandatory. And interest, table, tennis, and reading reference is available on request. Okay, so let's see what happens to the comments. You see, at the right corner of the page, your left, but in my right, some people omit these labels. Okay, so these are the personal information. Some people want to avoid this section, and you see profile. In case of profile, some people omit the profile section, and in some cases they omit the personal profile. It is about the British system of writing resume. But as I mentioned repeatedly, that it depends on what your employers wants to know from you. That is very important. Okay, so let's see what happens to the American writing style of CV. You see, here is an American style of writing CV. You see, first the name is given, name, contact address, then objective. But you see, in British style, we don't see any objectives there. But here, some objective is given. You see, to obtain a position as Chinese English translator with a firm in the Ray area. Okay, and then educational details are given here. You see, 2000 to 2002, Master of Arts in Translation, Stanford University, and then 1994 to 1998, Bachelor of Arts. Okay, all right, each and every CV you see for these two countries. This is very important that they have mentioned the latest academic qualifications. Okay, so this is very important. You have to note it down. Okay, and then experience. This is the professional experience. He mentioned here. A freelance technical translator, Chinese English, mostly for high-tech industries in Texas, and 2000 to 2002 teaching assistant, Chinese Denver College, 1997 to 2000 English teacher, Cambridge Institute, China. And of course, she got some language skill, that is fluent in Chinese, conversational French, and then personal details. Here he mentioned that interests include sailing, piano, cooking. Okay, reference is given, but in the last slide, we have seen that in British style, reference is not mentioned there. So let's see what happens to the comments at the right of the slide. In your left, you see. First, in terms of personal details, you may choose whether or not to include your birth date, marital status, children, whatsoever. Okay, as I mentioned, that this is very also important, and it depends on what your employer demands. Okay, if they mention about this topic to give it or to write it down on the CV, then of course you have to mention it in the CV. Okay, and then in educational experience, you see, begin with your most recent qualification and works backwards. Okay, right? As I said, that you have to start the latest educational qualification. You have to begin the most recent qualifications and work backwards. And then in terms of experience, they have suggested that begin with your most recent employment and work backwards. Okay, first you have to give the most recent work experience, and then you will go onward, right? And then one or more references can be included on the CV or resume, right? Okay, we have done a comparative study between two CVs from two countries. One is from British and the other is from American. And now let's see what happens to ours. I mean, what happens to our country. Okay, here is a demo CV is given for your kind attention, so that you can prepare your CV today. As I said, that please take a page and a pen so that you can write your CV right now. And I advised you to send it to me to my email so that I can see it. Okay, and I can share there, right? You see, first, according to the traditional way of writing CV that happens in our country, first you have to mention the contact address, and that is given here, contact address, right? Say Abdullah, house is given, house is not given, as because you have to do it of your own. Road number is kept blank and whatsoever, and then cell number is kept blank, and you have to write it down. Email is in terms of email, that is also remain the same. So you just start writing. First you write your name, then house number. যদি আমরা বাংলায় বলি তাহলে আমরা যদি গ্রামে বসে করি তাহলে সেক্ষেত্রে গ্রাম, পোস্ট অফিস, উপজেলা, জেলা, সেই বিষয়গুলো এখানে ইনক্লুড করতে হবে, অ্যাজ ওয়েল অ্যাজ দ্য মোবাইল নাম্বার। যদি টেলিফোন নাম্বার থাকে, টেলিফোন এবং সেলফোন, there is a little difference, you'll see. These are all very mandatory for communication, and email address is universal right now. I think that each and everyone has the email address. So you have to fill the blanks of your own. Okay. And right at the corner of this slide, you see email as some emails, some points or something is given here. You see, you can add your image. I mean, you can add your photos. You can add your picture here if it is mandatory or if it is necessary. Okay, it depends. And then career objectives. You see, I have developed career objectives commonly. It might not be or the same experience for you. You may change it of your own, considering the situations where you are going to apply, right? So I have just given you common career objectives here. Okay. And then academic qualifications, you see, I have just taken a sample of a person, sample academic qualifications, you see. Here you see, I mentioned that you have to start the latest academic achievements or awards. Okay, here this person has achieved lastly achieved the bachelor degree of science in computer science and engineering, and this course done by for 3 years. You see, of course you have to mention it because it differs country to country, it differs university to university. So let your employers know how many years you have taken to complete your bachelor degree. So you have to mention it. And then the institution, Daffodil International University, DIU, Department Computer Science and Engineering, major, web design and development, and CGPA out of 4. And you have to mention here what score you have scored in this examination, and passing year 2016. Okay. And then diploma in engineering certificate, you see. It is also 4 years course, and then in institutions here mentioned for Dhaka Polytechnic Institute, you are not supposed to write Dhaka Polytechnic Institute. You of course write your own institute name, okay? And then certification is offered by the board, that is Bangladesh Technical Education Board, BTB, Group Computer Technology, or you can mention here technology, computer technology, and CGPA. You have to write it. CGPA is mentioned here 4, but you will write of your own. And passing year 2012, right? And then secondary school certificate, all right, SSC, it happens almost 10 years. And then the institution you have joined, or you have taken your certificate, you have studied. That is Victoria Jubilee Copt High School, Chuaranga, right? Board under the board, that is JSOR, and Group Science, GPA out of 5. Of course, you have to write your GPA. Say, just for an example, you have achieved 5. If you achieve a golden GPA, then of course you will write here 5 out of 5. If you achieve 4, of course you will write 4 out of 5. Okay, and passing year 2008, and this is very important template, that is experience or skills or professional experience. Okay, whatever, you can write it down. Okay, this person has spent a little time on his professional skills, and he mentioned the details of his work experience. First, it starts 1st March 2017, and it is he is continuing till today. So he has just mentioned present. Okay, as a senior digital marketing executive. Company name is MySoft Heaven BD Limited. If it is possible to mention the address of that very company, you can write as well. Okay, and then lastly, he started his career January 2013 from 2013 to 1st January 2013 to 31st December 2014. Okay, that is his last work experience, right? So likewise, you will just give the description of your professional experience, and of course you have to mention the time you have worked there. Okay, this is very, very important for writing good CV. Okay, all right, and then internship and training. Okay, our diploma students, of course, it is mandatory for them to do some internship and training program. So this person has completed his internship in web design and online earning at Optimal IT Limited. You see, WordPress development certification at Devs Team Institute, and SEO and digital marketing at Udemy. These are the institutions, these are the certifications, these are the training programs he attended. Okay, and then key skills. This is also very, 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 very important, because employer will have an intensive look on this part. Okay, because where you have applied, or the company you selected, of course they have uh, advised you to mention your technical skills. Okay, SEO, white hat SEO, I mean digital marketing, design and development, other computer skills. Okay, so these are the key factors, key matters that your employer may choose you if your skills satisfy them. Okay, so you must be very careful when you mention the key skills. Okay, and ultimately, of course, we need to explain some soft skills, and language skills is can be included in soft skills there. You see, as Bangladeshi, you have of course you have the proficiency both written and spoken in your native language, and in addition, in English, you are good in writing, reading, speaking, and listening. Okay, so of course you have to mention it. And then individuality, this is also another very important task nowadays. The employer asks to know, that is individuality. Sorry, individually. Oh yes, individuality. You can mention another term, that is flexibility. Okay, so let's see what happens to the individuality. Good communication and presentation skills. First, this is very important for a person who um, want to join the world of work nowadays, and he must be confident, reliable, bright, and enthusiastic, and a strong interpersonal and teamwork skills, capable of adapting in any environment, possessing leadership quality and skills. Okay, these are the very important part of your CV, and you have to mention it, because you may work in a team, you may work being self-motivated. So these are the very key skills. We can consider it the soft skill, and nowadays the companies demand to have employee good soft skill. Okay, so take care about this mentioning these skills. Okay. All right, dear students, for your better understanding, I have used some images each and every slide, but never and ever uh, use any images to make your employer understand that you are different. Okay, so don't do it. Right? Simply you just point out the templates. Okay. And personal details, as I mentioned, that in some cases of other countries, they don't demand, or they don't want to give personal details. Okay, but in our country, sometimes it requires to give personal details. So it is given. If it is necessary, you can add these details in your CV. That is name, father's name, mother's name, present address, date of birth, religion, nationality, gender, marital status, and blood group. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, that sometimes the style of CV depends on the employer, what they demand, what they want. So first you have to read the advertisement very carefully, and you have to pay attention to the requirements they ask to know from the part of you. Okay, so it depends. And references, sometimes in the CBs I discussed in American style and British style, and you have seen that in British style there is no room for mentioning uh, references, but in American style, you have seen that there are some options of mentioning references. And in our country, some employers demand that the employee should mention the references so that they can get connected to them easily if necessary. And lastly, here is acknowledgement you see, and you have to ensure that the information you have given in your CV is completely authentic. Okay, so you have to write a line. I have just written the line, and you can change it of your own according to the needs. And finally, you have to give signature. Okay. All right, we are at the end of the session, and we have mostly finished how to write CV, how to prepare a CV. As I said, that if you write it down right now and send it to me, you can send it to me to my email address so that I can check it. Okay. So notes, this is very also important. As I mentioned several times, that some employers may offer their own CV template. I mean, employers may have some special requirements to know from the point of view. So regarding this, of course, you have to prepare following the advice they give. And CV examples to help make sure you include all required information in the format they prefer. Before you submit your application, look for any special CV guidelines the employer has outlined. For example, some instructions may require you to list only relevant coursework, fieldwork, dissertation, and professional references. What I said earlier, okay? That is summarized here. Okay, all right. Each and every lecture, I give you tips on knowing new vocabulary. So here also we have some new words to know. That is curriculum vitae, resume, achievements, mentor, inconsistencies, lifelong dissertations. Okay, you may add more new words to know, and so that you can apply it in your future writing task of CV. Okay, and group discussion is given here. That is advantages and disadvantages of learning language online. You can talk you can carry on chatting with your friends online in a group, and you can find some advantages and disadvantages of learning a language online. Okay, some of you wanted to know how to do it. Yes, at the very beginning of my class online in this semester, I mentioned how to create a online group for chatting and how you can carry on conversation with your friends. Okay, so download the earlier lectures where you can get direction of how to create online group. Okay, and you see the homework, each and every lecture, of course you have to sit for writing some homework, and in today's lesson you have to make a CV, and I think and I hope that you already uh, on the way of making your own CV and you did it. Okay. All right, time is up, and I have to get going. Thank you so much for staying with me last few minutes. Thank you once again. And if you want to download this lecture, of course, you have to keep watching and get connected with www.skills.gov.bd. Okay.